talk about threat modeling. I'm walking into companies. I'm talking about, damn, I wish I could say who. But, you know, I'm walking into big companies that impact us every day, and I'm making up scenarios like, well, what if you opened up a PDF that had JavaScript and it was a worm, man? I mean, shit, that would be really hard to pull off, but that's their threat model, right? And then they're like, well, we wouldn't really know how to handle that. And then I help them remediate, come up with ways to be able to recover, because some of it is 0 day. If you're in the right industry, some of it is 0 day. And so then it becomes, well, what happens when the light goes off, right? We're talking about those kind of companies. What happens when the lights goes off? Well, now you know you need to have a safe, and it needs to be fireproof, and it needs to have an incident response. It needs to have disaster recovery. You need to move to another region. You got to. A IR plan, a DR plan. Come on now. You got to. And, you know, 2-3-1, explaining 3-2-1, explaining them, you know, the different ways to back. It's just, there's a lot there for threat modeling. It's really fun. So if you feel like you want to get into cyber, spend some time digging into threat models, because what that will do is allow you to be able to speak to what reality is and what you're up against in the industry. So advanced persistent threats, they leave tool marks everywhere. Learn what tools they use. Learn what techniques they use. Learn what procedures they follow, because then what that does is empowers you, no matter if you're on the red or blue team, so that you can identify the anomalies like, well, I should go check this file.
One of my jobs, our team was, well, not my team, but the team we were sent stuff to was anomaly detection.
Yeah, that's a big thing.
And that's what they was all about. Like,
assurance falls into that anomaly detection thing, because you want to make sure, like.
Yeah. No, but like, that's what you're talking about. That's why I like a lot of the, like, my advice for a lot of stuff is so simple.
Yeah.
But it's like, you know, you're from Detroit, so y'all got bunks, and, you know, shout out to Crunk Gym.
Oh, yeah, shout out to Crunk. Yeah.
But it's like, hey, you can't get past a good 1-2.
Yeah, you can't.
It's always the same thing. So my advice, well, a lot of people is the same thing. Like, yo, get on Bleep Computer, TechCrunch, Krebs on Security, anybody who's reporting the breaches, and read up on them.
Yeah.
It's going to inform you what's happening. Like right now, the breaches are not that technical. I mean, the biggest thing I know right now with the social engineering part of it is SIM swapping.
Yeah, well, that's.
And I got a video that I plan to eventually make on it with a company that has software to try to protect you from being able to be SIM swapped.
Yeah. That's interesting.
That's where it's at, because initially they made the MGM hack look like it was simple.
Yeah, it wasn't.
But I was like, nah, they did some reconnaissance.
Yeah.
They looked at who these people were, whatever they talking about on Twitter or LinkedIn. Then they SIM swapped them.
Yep.
And that's how they got in.
Yep.
That's a part that was a big part that was left out at the beginning. And so he's like, dang, what happened? I've seen where people don't, if we even take it up SIM swapping, don't identify somebody the right way they need to, and that person, hey, yeah, send MFA to my phone, not that one.
Exactly.
And that's why I said the other day, I was like, hey, y'all be killing help desk, but a lot of companies ain't breached because they got a good help desk.
That's true. And I think that in the future it's going to be even harder, because now we're starting to get to the point where we're going into passwordless authentication, and they're just going to be pushing notifications through authorized applications.
It's not a hot take, but I actually think that companies going to start doing away with the MFA push.
Yeah, I think so.
It's getting too risky. Like, I remember, like, a while back, my personal email, I got a push, and I didn't recognize it. And I went through my thing, logged in. I was like, I don't recognize it. So I changed my password. See, a lot of people not aware of what's going on, because, like, I don't remember ever putting it in anything. And that password is not, like, guessable. It's
generated.
Yes. But if you wake up in the middle of the night, your phone keep on vibrating, and it do the Face ID, and maybe you hit something by accident, you go back to sleep and wake up and everything gone. So that's why it's like, I changed. I don't get pushes to my personal account no more. I have to go into a Microsoft Authenticator and put in everything I need to.
That's how it is on my Facebook. I got to go open up and go get a login code out, and I only get 10 login codes, and after 10 logins, I got to go get 10 new codes.
Yeah.
So after the password, after the 2FA or the YubiKey MFA,
that's the best one. But see,
get a code on top.
We used to work with people on TSA. They used to lose their RSA tokens, so they was calling in to get more like tokens and stuff like that. Yeah, so
RSA football is irritating.
Yeah, man, it's crazy though, man. But I'm glad like we're able to give them like this candid conversation of like blue and red. I mean, everybody is like, if we talking blue and red, it's football practice. Defense coming to make offense good, offense coming to make defense good. That's what it's about when it comes to the tabletops. Like I remember we discovered a tabletop that was done by I ain't gonna say too much. I'm gonna say CS. Everybody who's in the security industry, you should know what CS stands for, especially when it comes to EDR. They were doing something in the environment, but on my shift we actually saw it, and so the manager was like, "Yo, hey, y'all caught this, but hey, don't tell nobody because it's supposed to be a tabletop for tomorrow." So they already in the environment now, and they're gonna start spinning up stuff tomorrow, and we're gonna do a tabletop. So it was just like, technically, we seen it. We was like, hey, we don't recognize this. Like, who is this? It's it's some giveaways, and we understand. Like, we'll spend some quick. So that's when he called us and put us in the call about it. So that's the thing, and that's one of the biggest things I tell people when it comes to IR. It's like IR, SOC work, knowing your environment. That's like one of the key skills. If you know your environment, you'll know what's an anomaly and what's not.
Yeah, and knowing your environment is not always just knowing the specifics to your environment, but what the norms are for that stack. Like if you know what the normal system looks like of Windows 10 at rest, then you will know everything that's different about it. And then you can consult with your customer about all of the differences and configurations, and they can let you know that's approved, that's approved, that's approved. It's documented here. This isn't documented, but that's documented here. This isn't documented. Then you are able to identify gaps and also potentially able to identify what the attacker did to change configuration and or their tool marks, as I like to call it. So, knowing your systems is very, very important. Especially if you're doing a test like the OSCP, where you have to do privilege escalation and everything looks like...
Listen, we're finna get into that because I don't think I asked you this last time.